What if I told you there's an easy way to avoid heart disease and to reverse it? Food has been known to be heart healthy since the 1970s. From bacteria, improve the way that your body metabolizes fat. Blood vessels in your body are gummed up with material. Now you can't have blood go through. That's a setup for a heart attack. So you're gonna ask me what you should be eating? All right, you want some dietary fiber? Try these. Okay, Dr. Lee, so does that mean I should just go with food so I don't have to be on my medicines? Well, look, here's what I always say. Welcome to Dr. Lee Unplugged, real insights from the cutting edge. This is a stripped down, no fluff conversation where I take you behind the scenes as a scientist and doctor to break down what's real and what's hype when it comes to your health. This is raw, unscripted, no sugarcoating, just real talk and real science. And today we're going to dive into how foods, especially dietary fiber, can help lower your risk of heart disease. Why does this matter? What does the science say? And what can you do about it? Are you ready? Let's get into it. All right, we know that your diet can affect your heart and your heart health. And we also know that if you eat a heart-healthy diet, you can lower your risk of cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer around the world. So, what are these foods and where does fiber fit in, right? Like you've probably heard that dietary fiber is good. You eat more dietary fiber, keeps you regular when you go to the bathroom. Well, listen, fiber from food has been known to be heart healthy since the 1970s. And in fact, eating foods that are high in fiber has been associated with lowering your blood cholesterol, your blood lipids, especially your bad cholesterol, all right? And that actually lowers your risk when your cholesterol goes down from having heart disease. And dietary fiber actually has been associated, eating dietary fiber, with improving your blood pressure, okay, and even weight loss. Now, all these factors, blood cholesterol, high blood pressure, being overweight, all these things contribute to cardiovascular disease, all right? So how does dietary fiber make all these things better? How do they actually lower your risk of having heart disease? All right, well, this is an interesting story that has to do with the history of research. So originally, the scientific community, all right, and I'm a scientist, so I'm a member of this community, we used to think years ago, decades ago, that fiber works by, when you eat it, by latching on to bad cholesterol in your gut, in your intestines, all right? And that way it can't be absorbed into the blood, right? So think about like fiber grabbing bad cholesterol in a bear hug so it doesn't get absorbed into your bloodstream from your gut, right? And we know that fiber also stimulates your gut so you can be more regular, moves the food through the poop chute, all right? And now you're moving that bad cholesterol out, right? It would make sense if you came up with a story like that, but actually that's probably not what happens. We now understand, and this is recent research, that dietary fiber works in an entirely different way. And the way it works, dietary fiber, is that it feeds our healthy gut bacteria, AKA also known as our gut microbiome, healthy gut bacteria that live in our gut. So when you're eating dietary fiber, that fiber feeds the gut bacteria digests the fiber, they're eating it, all right? And when they digest the fiber, they digest it into little fat fragments. You want to call them metabolites? Okay, that's what they are. The bacteria metabolizes the fiber into something called short-chain fatty acids. There's 3 different kinds: acetate, propionate, butyrate. All right, if you're really into this kind of stuff, and you want to biohack into yourself, look them up: acetate, propionate, butyrate. But actually, if you're not really into the details, just know your healthy gut bacteria, when you feed them fiber, will make these 3 substances. The 3 substances get into your bloodstream, they go all over your body, and guess what? One of the things that they do, they improve the short-chain fatty acids from bacteria, improve the way that your body metabolizes fat and lipids. Specifically, they lower bad LDL cholesterol, bad cholesterol, okay? And they'll lower your overall blood cholesterol as well. This is probably how fiber actually works. Now, the fiber-fed gut bacteria also improves your body's ability to metabolize glucose. Glucose is just a fuel that gets into our body when we eat carbs, right? You're eating calories, all right? And so when you feed your gut bacteria. With fiber, you're actually smoothing out your blood glucose levels. All right. I don't talk about spikes and crashes of glucose. That's somebody else's stuff. I will actually tell you that when you have better metabolism, glucose metabolism, your insulin levels actually go down. All right. And overall, your cardiovascular system benefits because you're actually less likely to accumulate excess body fat, which is a risk for cardiovascular disease. Now, I did tell you that short chain fatty acids from fiber fed gut bacteria lowers inflammation. All right. So, what are some of the foods that are really great from when it comes to dietary fiber? Like at the end of the day, I'm a super practical guy. So, you're going to ask me what you should be eating? All right. You want some dietary fiber? Try these: lentils, chickpeas, avocado, walnuts, apples, oats, like an oatmeal. All right. They all contain dietary fiber. They all feed your healthy gut bacteria. All right. Now, the changes that the healthy bacteria release, okay, those short chain fatty acids that are produced, they will actually help your body become more heart healthy and lower the risk of heart disease. All right. So I got to tell you, there's another thing. The soluble fiber, okay, the kind of fiber that can dissolve that you would eat from foods, can also help clean your arteries, especially if they're clogged. Now, my friend and colleague, Dr. Dean Ornish at the Preventative Medical Research Institute outside of San Francisco, did some amazing seminal research. You haven't seen Dean's work, you should check it out. All right. Dr. Ornish showed that changes in your diet and lifestyle can not only prevent heart disease, it can even reverse heart disease. All right. Listen, when I went to medical school, I was told, like, once you have those blockages, the only way to get them out is to actually drill them out. There's no way to naturally reverse it. Well, Dean Ornish showed that you can reverse the atherosclerotic plaque, the blockages in your arteries. You can even reverse the buildup. And the way this happens isn't really known, but we do know that dietary fiber can play a role. Now, if you think about it, like the blood vessels that feed your heart, they're tubes, like the pipes in your sink. And when your pipes get clogged, right, you got to call the plumber, right? And that's what some cardiologists call themselves, they're plumbers. They kind of drill through the pipes. But actually, think about what happens when a pipe in your kitchen sink is clogged. It usually gums up with material, and then water won't flow down anymore. Well, when the blood vessels in your body are gummed up with material, now you can't have blood go through. That's a setup for a heart attack, especially if the plaque, which is the blockage, breaks open because it's fragile, and then it can shut off blood flow immediately. All right, and that's a heart attack, right? So the interesting thing about how dietary fiber and diet and lifestyle can actually help to reverse heart disease has to do with this fact. Our blood vessels naturally repair and regenerate themselves. That's actually baked into our body. Over time, if we actually don't treat our bodies very well, like many people, too much stress, they smoke cigarettes, they drink too much alcohol, they're eating too many ultra-processed foods, or having, unhealthy fats, this scrapes up the lining of your blood vessels. And when the lining of the blood vessels are scraped up, a lot easier to actually build up the gunk. Think about it like a highway that winds up actually having potholes all over the place. So compared to a smooth highway, normal blood vessel, the highway with potholes, man, it makes it a lot easier for other things to stick into the road, and that's what actually happens. And you stick more and more and more, you're going to narrow that blood vessel down. Okay, so one of the things that dietary fiber and polyphenols, okay, can do in conjunction with lifestyle changes, lowering stress, getting enough sleep, getting good social connection, all right, exercising, all these things, all right. It turns out that collective approach will actually help your blood vessels repair and regenerate themselves, resurface themselves. Calls out the pavers to repave the highway after winter, the ice in the winter and the snow and the salt, heavy trucks rumbling through, crack the pavement because it's cold. And now when the spring thaw comes, you got a highway that's not very drivable, needs to be repaired. Well, diet and lifestyle, including dietary fiber, can repave the highway of your blood vessels. All right. Obviously, you want to cut down or cut out the things that are not so good for you, including eating less saturated fat. And that actually can help clean up your blood vessels as well. Now you got to fix them. All right. Blood flows more smoothly. Now your heart has become healthier. That's actually how you can actually not only prevent heart disease, but you can actually reverse it even if you have it. Okay. Now, the other thing that happens is that your dietary fiber that you eat can feed your gut microbiome. All right. 39 trillion bacteria releasing those short chain fatty acids once you feed them the fiber. Guess what? Those short chain fatty acid pieces lowers inflammation. Inflammation is one of those factors that triggers damage to your blood vessels, and it increases the risk of heart disease. So when you feed your gut healthy fiber and they produce those short chain fatty acids, you're lowering inflammation, making it less likely your blood vessels are going to be damaged. The other thing is that your gut microbiome can do, and this is research I've done, it can actually help your body grow more helpful, useful, critical, life-saving blood vessels, angiogenesis. So when you eat dietary fiber, you're helping your gut actually be fed, and your gut is helping your body grow more useful blood vessels. Very important. If you got blockages, you got to grow around them, right? It's like called bypass, molecular bypass. Now, here's the other thing that I get asked all the time when I talk about food and health is like, okay, Dr. Lee, so does that mean I should just go with food so I don't have to be on my medicines? I mean, most people don't like to have medicine like beta blockers and statins, etc. Well, look, here's what I always say. What you eat can definitely make a difference in terms of what happens to your heart health. All right. You can make your heart either healthier, like we've been talking about, or you can make it less healthy, take it down. So obviously you want to head in a direction of making it healthier. But you know what? Medicines can also be helpful. I'm a medical doctor. I prescribe lots of medicines that are life-saving. Do not make the mistake of saying, oh, I heard this from this video and I can actually use this food and I can come off my medication. Nope. It's not food versus medicine. It's food and medicine. Very important thing. So what are some of those changes you can make to your diet if you've got heart disease or you want to prevent it? All right. Number one, you want to eat more whole plant-based foods, especially the ones that have a lot of dietary fiber. All right. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, legumes, spices and herbs. All right. Whole grains. All of these things are the building blocks for the Mediterranean diet, for example. All right. Healthy oils, especially extra virgin olive oil and omega-3s from oily fish, seafood. Now, a lot of people say, think, oh my gosh, I can't eat salmon every day. Don't worry. There's a lot of different kinds of fish, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, but even white flesh fish like halibut and hake, flounder, they all have omega-3s as well. And even shrimp and clams and oysters, squid, they all have omega-3s, all right? You want to treat yourself to a lobster, it's got some healthy omega-3s as well, all right? So healthy oils actually protect your heart. Now, here's something you do want to do. You want to decrease your intake of red meat, all right? Red meat contains a lot of saturated fat, so just cut down on it. I'm somebody who feels like we should focus on what you should add to your body. Don't focus on what you'd eliminate. If you spend more time adding the good stuff, you're not going to have as much room to add the bad stuff. All right, but what else should you eliminate? Processed meats. All right, sausages, sandwich meats, salami, those kinds of things, bologna, things that you'd find in a deli. Probably grew up with it. All right, cut those down and cut those out. They contain saturated fat, and a lot of times they have added chemicals to it too. All right, and sometimes they have even added sugar. All right, and if you eat ultra processed foods, got to be careful. A lot of them have a lot of chemicals, a lot of things that can hurt your gut microbiome, and added sugar. Now, sugar is a bad actor, especially when you have cardiovascular disease. Why? It increases your insulin, increases inflammation, actually accumulates more fat in your body if you have too much. You have a piece of candy or a piece of cake every now and then, no biggie. All right. We're talking about day in and day out, week in and week out, eating a lot of added sugar. not natural sugars found in a fruit or vegetable. But we're talking about, candy bar, soda is a particular offender. So I would say lose the soda, both regular soda and diet soda, and cut down on your sweets. All right. These are the kind of dietary changes that deliver heart healthy benefits, regardless of what kind of heart medication you might be on. Whatever your cardiologist gave you, what's a beta blocker, a statin, an ACE inhibitor, calcium channel blocker. These are things that medical doctors know about. You just probably know by the name that you have to go pick up the prescription on. But I'm telling you, there's the health care you can do for yourself at home. Go to the cardiologist for sick care. All right. Take care of your high blood pressure, everything else. Go home to do the health care, and that is actually in your pantry. It's also in your refrigerator, and it should be on your dinner table every single day. And remember, working on your gut health, that healthy bacteria, all right, one of the most important heart healthy steps you can take when it comes to food as medicine. Because when we feed ourselves, our human body will absorb those nutrients. Anything we don't absorb goes right down to the gut, feeds the gut microbiome, that lowers inflammation, and it does so many good things for us, all right? You want to lower that inflammation, lower bad cholesterol, improve your blood pressure, another big thing. And by the way, you've heard about the gut-brain axis. When you feed your gut, you're actually going to get into a better mood, because a good, healthy gut means you have a better, healthier brain, including a better mood as well. All right? Okay, that's it for today on Dr. Lee Unplugged. Now you know some key secrets when it comes to food and heart health, but there's even more you can do to take control of your health. So, if you found this video interesting and useful, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you won't miss my next deep dive. And if you're serious about your health and you want to use food as medicine, then watch my next video. You don't want to miss it. See you there. Hey, if you like that video, then you're going to love this one. Check it out.